Jobs that pay more than being a pharmacist in New Zealand, with or without specific qualifications. That is our topic for today. And what is my motive for putting this video together? I have seen overseas trained pharmacists, including myself, walk through this path, struggle for 1, 2, 3, some even half a decade just to pass their KAPS exam and get their license to practice here in New Zealand. And along the line, they put in energy, patience, hard work, resources. Why some exhausted the number of chances they have to pass this KAPS exam, which is 2 attempts, without excelling. Some excelled, passed, settled, start working as a pharmacist, only to realize that they are not contented with what they take home after putting in so much time, energy and all that. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing professions, white collar jobs that earn more than being a pharmacist here in New Zealand, with the same or even minimal stress and training time. But before I dive into it, I would like to introduce myself. For those of you who are just stopping by my YouTube space, I'm simply Julia Chinelo, and I blog about my life experience here, living, studying, working here is all about. And sometimes we go on digital tour with you guys. So you might consider subscribing, turning on the notification bell if it is something of interest to you. And for my dear, lovely returning subscribers, do not forget to tick off your attendance by a thumb up and also beautiful comments down in the comments section. Okay guys, before I carry on again, I would like to drop this note, because I know some of my pharmacist colleagues and friends will come and, I'm not in any way trying to derogate our esteemed profession. All I'm trying to do is to liberate some of us that opted to study pharmacy because of the family pressure, the societal pressure. My subscribers from African continent and Asia could relate how family and society made us opt for this healthcare profession courses because of the high rate of unemployment. So if you are just into pharmacy because of you feel that is your ticket to financial freedom in countries or continents with high unemployability rate, moving over here, you can liberate yourself from that shackles and opt for any of this profession that I'm going to be naming today. You could even earn more than being a pharmacist, or almost the same about with a pharmacist over here. So guys, and the yardstick I'm going to be using for this comparison is not really about the actual money, because the training time, I'm going to be considering the training time, which is one factor. It takes a pharmacist longer to train, a pharmacist longer to do the licensing process and everything. Whereas if you switch to any of this profession, you could settle in, start growing your career, and that's how your earning will start going up compared to your pharmacy counterpart. And the second factor I'm using for this comparison is the risk. You know how it is, healthcare courses, the risk exposure are quite high. And also in pharmacy, there are some things you will do and you risk your license, which means you would not be a practicing pharmacist again. And the third yardstick I'm going to be using for this comparison is your mental and intellectual requirement. We know in these healthcare professions, if you're not holistically okay, if you're not physically, psychologically, mentally or otherwise stable, you don't go to work that day because of the risk and the chances of you making mistake that will cost a life. Whereas in most of these other professions I'm going to be naming today, you can, if you are not feeling too good, you can just say, oh, I'll manage and go to work today, because no life is directly involved. So the fourth yardstick I'm going to be using today is the working hours. Here, pharmacists, most pharmacists work alternate weekends, and they roster sometimes, whereas these other professions I'm going to be talking about today, they do more of Monday to Friday job, and weekends they chill with their family, have some fun thing and family time, which to me is priceless. And the fifth factor I'm using today for this comparison is the remuneration, the take home. Does it really complement the whole hour of work, the whole stress? Okay guys, before I start listing these professions again, I would like to walk you through what a pharmacist earns here. So there are like 3 stages of income when it comes to this. Here is low, medium, or average, and high. Low are like people that just finish studying, the interns, people with less than 3 years experience. They earn about 50,000 New Zealand dollars yearly. And the medium, people that have got some experience, like 3 to 5 years experience, they earn about 77,000 New Zealand dollars yearly or thereabouts. And for people that are like pharmacists in charge, pharmacy managers, they earn about 100,000 and 5 to 20 New Zealand dollars yearly. So, and you know, time is involved in getting to these different stages. So we'll move to the jobs that I feel pay more than being a pharmacist here. The number 1 job I'll be talking about today is our dear recruitment consultant. These are people that find suitable candidates on behalf of organizations, and they either negotiate on a flat fee before they start these interviews to get the suitable candidates for a company, from the average of 6,000 to 8,000 New Zealand dollars just to fill in a space. Or they can negotiate a percentage of the successful candidate remuneration up to 15%, or 17.5 up to 12.5% to 17.5%. So you know what that means. And when you rate what they take home yearly, under, low, medium, average, or high, you will realize that most of them take up to $42,000 yearly, and the median range takes about $80,000 home yearly, and the high range takes as high as $130,000 yearly, which is even higher than a pharmacist counterpart in the average and high level rating of New Zealand salary income. And the second profession that I feel earn more than being a pharmacist here in New Zealand is the professional content creators. This one should be virtually like everywhere. As a professional content creator, if you have your platform and you've created an audience for your space, you put out content there. It's not just in New Zealand, it's all over the world. You decide how you work, what you earn, and all that. Otherwise, those that are engaged by a company to put out content on behalf of them here in New Zealand, some of them can earn the low medium rate on entry level, can earn up to 45,000 New Zealand dollars yearly, and the average can earn up to 78,000 New Zealand dollars yearly. Why at the high rate? they can earn 86,000 New Zealand dollars yearly. And basically the skill you need is more of editing, speaking, researching, and adding values to people's life, and they will keep coming back to your social media platform. That's just it. So it's not as studious, as demanding as that of being a pharmacist. So the third job that I'm going to be talking about today that earn more than being a pharmacist here in New Zealand is sales manager. The top paid industries and sales in New Zealand here is more of in finance and in insurance. All you need to do is to be that extrovert, to have that sales personality, and that's it. And you don't really need to have a specific qualification. I have seen a sales manager with just high school certificate here earning above $100,000 yearly. So it's all about bringing out that inherent skill in you, selling it, building a career, having years of experience, and you would be in demand. Here in New Zealand, we don't just blindly chase certificates. They like skills more than paper, just the certificate. So if you are good in sales, this is something you might consider building a career in sales. The low level sales, they can start with as high as 60,000 New Zealand dollars yearly, whereas your pharmacist counterparts start with 50, while the medium or average earning of a sales manager here is about 95,000 New Zealand dollars, whereas your pharmacist counterpart at the average or median earns about 77,000 New Zealand dollars yearly. While at the high level, they earn 145,000 New Zealand dollars, which I don't think most of the pharmacists in charge or pharmacist managers earn here. So the fourth profession that I think earn more than being a pharmacist here is real estate consultant. In fact, I don't know how to analyze this one, because in the past couple of years I've been here, the housing rate, the whole estate housing, everything just skyrocketed, and it's difficult to quantify what these people take home. So it's really a big deal. It's really a big business if you have that skill, if you have that money to be into real estate here. Is just mind-blowing. And the fifth profession that I'm going to be talking about today is air traffic controllers. I know most of you will be wondering, air traffic controllers, what's that? These are people that direct the safe landing and ordering the movement of aircraft while flying, landing, taking off, and taxiing. And with this, you don't necessarily need to have any specific qualification. If you are interested in aviation, but not necessarily being a pilot, this might be a career path you might consider, and find out the requirements and the training you need to do for it. For a low start, this start off here in New Zealand with 95,000 New Zealand dollars, medium about 160,000 New Zealand dollars, which I don't think any pharmacy manager at high level earn. And at high level, these people can earn up to 200,000 New Zealand dollars yearly. Oops. And the sixth profession that I feel earn more than being a pharmacist here is the CEOs or managing directors of company at a low level, at a startup level, that can take home about 120,000 New Zealand dollars. At the medium or average level, they take home 560,000 New Zealand dollars. and at the high level they can take home up to 4.5 million New Zealand dollars yearly. So being a CEO or a managing director, working through that ladder up will take lesser time than working through that ladder of being a pharmacist in charge or pharmacist manager here, in my own opinion. So the seventh profession that I feel and more than being a pharmacist here is the architectural and engineering managers in different engineering field, be it production engineering, be it field engineering and project engineering. These people takes home heaps of money compared to that of being a pharmacist, and most of this engineering professions and field are in the long-term shortage skill list as well. And the last but not the least I'll be talking about today, because I still feel there are still some other professions that pay more than being a pharmacist here, is our quantity surveyors. Quantity surveyors are responsible for managing the finance of construction companies. They prepare the budget, estimate everything about a war going on in the construction place, and you cannot believe what these people take home. At the start level, they can take home 46,000 New Zealand dollars yearly, and at medium or average level they can earn up to 85,000 New Zealand dollars yearly, which is more than that of their pharmacist counterparts at the medium or average earning, which is about 77,000 New Zealand dollars yearly. So guys, let me know what you think about this video. If you enjoy it and you want me to research more or put out more jobs that earn more than being a pharmacist here, on the long time, some at the beginning time, let me know and I will research and put some more out so that you will have a wider range to pick from. But until then, I'm seeing your out and about lady here in Australian continent, anytime, any day. Stay safe.